Okay, let's talk about something that a lot of us know, or at least think we know, the midlife crisis. You know, the classic picture. Sports cars, radical life changes. But what if that whole image totally misses the real point? We're going to get into the real reason it actually happens.
So have you ever noticed something kind of strange about this? People don't usually have a complete meltdown when life is obviously, a mess. The real crisis, that often hits when, from the outside looking in, everything seems perfectly fine. You've got this stable job, you've built a career, you're good at what you do. Check.
You're in a long-term relationship, right? You've got all that history and comfort that comes with it.
You've got experience, you have security. On paper, life is, well, it's good. It's exactly what you were aiming for.
And then, somewhere in your 40s or 50s, this quiet little question just starts to creep in. Is this really it? And that feeling can be so unsettling precisely because everything is supposed to be fine.
And hey, if you've ever felt this, you are so not alone. It turns out this isn't just some movie stereotype. It is a measurable, documented human pattern.
This feeling is actually backed up by a ton of data. Large-scale psychological and economic studies have found something pretty fascinating. Across dozens of countries, all different cultures, human well-being consistently follows this predictable curve throughout our lives.
It actually looks like the letter U. So our sense of well-being, our happiness, it tends to rise in early adulthood. Then it takes a pretty significant dip in midlife, right around our 40s and 50s, before, and this is the good news, rising again as we get older.
And what's wild is how consistent this pattern is. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, if you live in a wealthy nation or a developing one, or what you do for a living, the dip appears. So let's get this straight. This isn't some kind of personal failure. It's a deeply human experience.
Okay, so if it's not about our specific circumstances, what is really causing this dip? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple, and it's not actually about your age. It's about a feeling of stagnation.
Just think about it for a second. Our brains are basically wired for change, not for stability. When we're young, life is this constant stream of firsts, right? First job, first love, constant learning curves and growth. Even the tough parts are new, and all that novelty keeps our brains buzzing and engaged. But by midlife, we've often mastered our routines, life gets comfortable, but it can stop feeling truly alive because it's just so predictable.
And neuroscience gives us this huge clue about why that stagnation feels so bad. It really all comes down to how our brain is wired for learning.
I mean, think about what learning actually is. It's the process of acquiring something new. So at its very core, learning is change. It's literally the opposite of stagnation.
So how does our brain process all this? Well, it's brilliant at adapting to static things. That big promotion, the new car. Sure, they give you a happiness boost, but it fades. Your brain just gets used to it. But here's the crucial part. The brain never fully adapts to the process of ongoing learning. Each new insight gives it a fresh little jolt of engagement. And that constant engagement is what our brain interprets as vitality, as purpose, as feeling alive.
So why does this hit us so hard in midlife? Well, because this is often when this really powerful and kind of sneaky belief system takes hold. We start to think, well, my path is pretty much set, or, the really big changes in my life are probably over. We start to believe that the future is just going to be a repeat of the present. And when the future feels that predictable, the brain dials down its attention. Nothing feels urgent or surprising anymore, and that's when motivation just fades.
But here's the really hopeful part. If the problem is stagnation, then the solution is actually pretty clear, and it's something anyone can do. It's all about reintroducing change.
Remember that U-curve we talked about? The reason our well-being so often rises again later in life is because change comes back into the picture. The kids leave home, careers shift, we pick up new hobbies, life becomes less predictable again, and the brain wakes up.
And this is so important. The solution is not to blow up your life. That feeling doesn't mean your life is broken, it just means it's become too familiar. The answer isn't some dramatic escape. It's much quieter. It's about intentionally learning something new and just allowing yourself to be a beginner again.
So maybe we should reframe this whole thing. The midlife crisis isn't a sign that you've failed. Think of it more like a biological signal from your brain.
What's it telling you? It's telling you that it's starved for novelty. It's telling you it needs to learn, to grow, to face a little bit of healthy uncertainty again.
So I'll just leave you with this. Maybe the real question isn't, why am I so stuck? Perhaps it's, when was the last time I actually let myself be a beginner and truly learn something new? The answer to that question, well, that might just be the key to everything.